This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code STATEOFSAINTS. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code STATEOFSAINTS and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com.
I'm back. Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And Who That Nation, I am back. Took a week off, but now your boy is back to give you all what you need, which is information about the New Orleans Saints. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about Drew Brees, and that Drew Brees coming back for another season. All right. So first off, look, calm down. I'm not saying that Drew Brees is coming back. All right. Look, I'm not an insider. All right. So anybody that's up here just thinking that I'm up here talking about Drew Brees coming back, I got the source, I got the sauce or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, shouts out to Trust Sauce, shouts out to Belco, shouts out to Nick Underhill. Those are inside guys. I don't know if Drew Brees is coming back, but I do have indication that he is not coming back. And this video is going to be focused on the fact that I don't feel that Drew Brees is coming back, and Drew Brees shouldn't come back. But there's a lot of people out there that still believe that Drew Brees is coming back, which I don't understand. How can anybody possibly believe that Drew Brees is going to come back for another season? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. First off, Drew Brees cuts his salary down to $1 million. All right, so he took a $23 million pay cut. All right, that's the first thing. I mean, Drew Brees is an all-time leading quarterback, and when it comes to statistics, when it comes for yards, why would he take a $23 million pay cut all the way down to $1 million? All right, it was simply to try to save the New Orleans Saints and try to help them through their cap issues that they've been having over the last going into this offseason. So a lot of people want him to know what I thought about this whole Drew Brees pushing the sled thing. A lot of people want to know what I thought about, the Russell Wilson comments. I'm going to give you all that. But first, I just want to go ahead and let everybody know. I did take some time off, and I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking about, what direction I wanted to take this show. I mean, this show has been extremely successful. This podcast has been extremely successful. We're going into the third year of this podcast, the third season of the State of the Saints podcast. And, for a while, man, I didn't know if I had the passion still to get in front of this video camera, get behind a mic, and do these videos. I mean, it was like I was okay with it. Then all of a sudden, man, I felt like I kind of lost the passion to do it. And I took some time out to figure out, was it me? Or, what I'm saying, was it something that I was doing? Maybe it was something that I was paying too much attention to. But I don't know, man. I learned that, I think I've been a little bit too lax. I think that a lot of things I've been trying to, hold back. Well, now I just figured out, man, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for a lot of people. Sometimes, you feel like when you start to get like corporate interests and stuff like that, you feel like you start to lose yourself. And I didn't want to be that, so I tried to figure out what was important to me. And, I found it again. So I'm back. And now I'm ready to talk about the New Orleans Saints. I'm ready to talk about Drew Brees in full detail. And, I'm just happy to be with you all, man. Thank you all for being here with me. Let's see. The whole Russell Wilson situation, right? The whole Russell Wilson situation. Everybody was asking, the Saints going to get Russell Wilson. It's a long shot, who that nation. Would it be great to see Russell Wilson in a Saints uniform? Look, man, y'all know how I roll. Y'all know how much I respect and love Russell Wilson. I tell you all the time that Russell Wilson is my favorite quarterback outside of Drew Brees. And for him to come to New Orleans would be great. But look, all this is just wishful thinking right now. I just think that Russell Wilson is around here playing hardball with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that he really wants to leave Seattle. I just feel like, he's doing this for leverage. He's getting tired of getting beat, because they don't want to invest in the offensive line. He's just tired of it. It comes a time where, you feel like you got enough skins on the wall, enough position, if you will, not position, but position for you to call your shots. And Russell Wilson wants some protection, man. He wants some protection. He wants an offensive line. Russell Wilson has never had an offensive line. Russell Wilson is the thing that we fell in love with Russell Wilson about was his ability to escape the pocket. His ability to do, to get out of harm's way. That's what we loved about Russell Wilson. But you start to get older, man, and those hits start to hurt a little bit, harder, what I'm saying, longer, it's like, so, I just think that he's just trying to call his shot. So his agent is doing what agents do. They're putting that information out there. They're making it cycles. They're getting media people to talk about it, and anybody knows the media. Any little signs of a story, they're going to try to eat it up and try to prolong it. Case in point, this whole Drew Brees retirement situation. So would I love to see Russell Wilson play for the Saints? Absolutely. Would I love to see Russell Wilson in the Saints uniform? Yes, sir. Do I feel like the New Orleans Saints players would love to see him in a Saints uniform? Absolutely. And that goes to another point that I'm trying to make here for all my Drew Brees people out there that's still delusional for some apparent reason. Look, man, if you still think that Drew Brees is still a high quality quarterback that's going to get you to the Super Bowl, you sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. That is you drinking a Kool-Aid. That is you with your undying allegiance to Drew Brees. You pledge allegiance to the flag and you pledge allegiance to Drew Brees. And I get it, right? It's hard for us to turn our heads, and when a guy's giving us so many great moments and giving us so much pride in our team and have us waving a black and gold flag and saying black and gold to I'm dead and cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. But Drew Brees is not getting the Saints to the Super Bowl anymore. We have to face facts. Drew Brees in the playoffs has been absolutely hot garbage over the past couple of years. And you can blame the offensive line, and you can blame the defense, and you can blame all these different things. But why is it that you look at some of these other quarterbacks out here and they have the same issues that have plagued Drew Brees over the past couple of years, and those quarterbacks can manage to get to the Super Bowl? You look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady did not play out his mind in the playoffs, did he? Did he play out his mind in playoffs? No. NFC Championship game, he threw 3 interceptions in that game. But, you know what I'm saying, like, he was able to, you know what I'm saying, make plays when it mattered most. Drew Brees, for better or for worse, you know what I'm saying, cost the Saints games, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs. Facts. He caused the Saints games in the playoffs, right? Don't matter how, you know what I'm saying, it looks in the end, because we all know Drew Brees can bring a team back. But we need to start focusing on how the Saints got into that situation in the first place. I don't need to go ahead and tell you all about how the New Orleans Saints could have won some of these games, and they could have included Drew Brees playing a little bit better. I save you all the details. All right. I save the details. I'll let you go watch it yourself. Like I said, some of y'all, no matter what I say, y'all never gonna get out your way. Y'all still gonna be up in here praising Drew Brees about what he did 10, 15 years ago, like that matters now. It don't matter, folks. It doesn't matter. It's about what you're doing right now. And the fact of the matter is, if the Saints had a quarterback that can get the ball down the field and extend plays, the defensive teams will respect the New Orleans defense. I mean, this New Orleans Saints offense more, and they wouldn't be so one-dimensional. The teams, they're playing the line of scrimmage, they're playing the sticks because they don't trust Drew Brees to throw the ball 10 yards. And we all know that Sean Payton is an extremely intelligent coach. So if he knew that Drew Brees can throw the ball down the field, and he knew that teams were inching up to the line of scrimmage and playing the sticks, wouldn't you think that he would want to throw the ball and push the ball down the field? I mean, come on, man. And then another thing y'all missing too. Oh, we love ourselves some Drew Brees. And I'm pretty sure those guys in the locker room love Drew Brees too. But at the same time, man, Drew Brees is worth almost, what, $500 million? And you have a lot of young players up in there that's trying to receive their first big payday. So what do you think those players are thinking if you're a wide receiver right now? What do you think you're thinking if you're a wide receiver that has so many things that you can do? You know, so many different ways that you can beat a defender. You can beat them by stretching the field. You can beat them by doing deep posts. You can beat them by doing, you know what I'm saying, like a deep out. And you have to play the sticks. You got a nickel and dime and penny and quarter down the field. And if you're going into free agency, teams are going to look at you like, hey, you know what I'm saying, maybe you're not worth all that money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't seem like you're worth all that money. It's because you got to play one-dimensional because your quarterback is holding you back. You know, it's like, I don't want anybody to get it twisted. Drew Brees can do some great things. He's extremely accurate. But what happens when you're a deep downfield threat? What happens when you can beat the defender? You know what I'm saying? If you can stretch the field about 15 yards, you can get behind that defender. What happens then? When players start looking at that type of stuff, they're like, man, you know what I'm saying? I need to get paid like him. So what do you think is going to happen? You think these players just sitting in the locker room not paying attention to this stuff? I don't care what you all think. Y'all, I mean, some of you probably think everything that those players say, you know what I'm saying, that all that politically correct stuff, y'all think y'all getting a bird's eye view and y'all know exactly what's going on in the locker room. You don't. All right. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that couple, you know what I'm saying, that looks perfect on paper, but behind the scenes, they get into their fair share arguments. They have their disagreements, this, that, and the third. All right. So just because they come out here and they do these interviews and they satisfy some of y'all, because some of you can't even decipher the fact that they just blowing smoke up your behinds. You know, like they know deep down inside, right? They know deep down inside. I mean, look at what C.J. Garner-Johnson said on a video game. He was playing a video game with this guy, and the guy, somebody made a comment about Jared Cook fumbling the football, and how C.J. Garner-Johnson was like, man, for real. Like, these guys know what plays kill them. They know what players are lacking, and they know what they can do, and, you know what I'm saying, how certain players can limit them. So I don't care what anybody says. Drew Brees ain't leading the Saints to no Super Bowl. You losing your mind if you think you're going to lead them to the Super Bowl. And you can talk about the offensive line till you're blue in the face, receivers not running routes till you're blue in the face, all these different things, right? But the fact that you have to have perfect conditions, right? You got to have the air conditioning on 70, right? You got to have the blinds open just a tad bit. right? You got to have all these different things going in order for Drew Brees to perform at the highest level. When you have other players out here that have to scramble out of the pocket, they got to make plays on the run. They got to extend plays in order for guys to get open. But Drew Brees has to have perfect situations. Well, that's not how the NFL works. Those defenders are extremely athletic, and they can get to the quarterback very, very easily. So it's time to move on. Sorry. It's time to move on. It's time to face facts. I don't care what anybody says about what I got to say about Drew Brees. You always know you never like Drew Brees. Man, shut up. Right? Shut up. I mean, if you ain't been following the State of the Saints podcast all 3 years, you got nothing to say to me. If you just look at my videos just to find the negative things that I say about Drew Brees so it can feed your narrative, you got nothing to say to me. If you've been rolling with me and you know how I operate, I tell it like it is, cool. I roll with you. But for all those people out there that's always just got this narrative going, I can care less. I don't care what you're seeing. Some of y'all just can't see the forest through the trees, and you will never see that because y'all have this undying allegiance to Drew Brees. I love Drew Brees, but I love the New Orleans Saints much more than I love Drew Brees. I'm going to say that again. I love Drew Brees, but I love the New Orleans Saints much more than I love Drew Brees. I will be a Saints fan till I'm no longer here. All right? And I'm pretty sure when I do pass away here, I'm going to have in my will put a black and gold casket on your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put me in a black and gold casket. You know what I'm saying? That's how much I love this team. But I'm going to be a New Orleans Saints fan long after Drew Brees is no longer here. And some of y'all still holding on to these glory years because, y'all probably ain't never seen life outside of Drew Brees because some of y'all probably in y'all 20s. And number two, some of y'all just scared because y'all talk so much trash to some of them other teams. If the Saints start losing, y'all ain't gonna know how to save face. But I can care less. I'm so committed to this. I'm gonna be real with y'all, Who That Nation. I'm so committed to the way that I'm feeling right now. I can care less if the Saints have a losing season without Drew Brees. I just think that it's time to move on. I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept a losing season in order for the Saints to make their transition. If not now, when? Right? If not now, when? You keep on saying, well, what about 2022? What if they make the playoff, they win the division again? Then you're going to be saying the same thing next season. Same thing, man. Drew Brees, I mean, he did this. I mean, the offensive line of Andrews Peter, Teron Armstead, and if they can block, like, man, knock it off, man. Time to move on. Let me go ahead and open up for the comments here. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the State of the Saints podcast. Like I said, man, I'm reloaded, and I'm not holding back, man. So we gonna go, we gonna really talk about some of these issues, man. We're gonna really talk about some of these issues. Mike T definitely want a 9 back. Don't want 9 back. I don't know if he wants Drew Brees back or not. I just feel like these guys know. These guys live in the same world we live in. That's what y'all don't understand. And man, these guys have more invested than we do. I think y'all need to understand this, man. Y'all need to understand this. I think some of us, we take these things so personal, right? Like we playing for the team. Like you'll never take it more personal than a guy that comes in there, use that key card and go into this organization every day. These guys are the ones that's putting it all on the line. These guys are breaking bones and fracturing ribs and dislocating different arms and and stuff like that, and shoulders and all that kind of stuff. Like they are the ones that putting their bodies on the line. It will never be as important to us than it is them. And these guys want to win, just like us, if not more, because this is their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Their livelihood depends on them being successful. So you don't think these guys sit up in the locker room, man, they know and saying some of the thinking the things that we think? They live in the same world we do. So, I mean, these guys know. And like I said, when you start messing with a guy's money, when God knows that he can get it behind a defender for a touchdown, when this guy knows that he can have about 5 or 6 touchdowns, but he's settling for 2 and 3 touchdowns a season, when he can have probably close to double digits. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I know that would make me mad. If I know that I can get behind the defender and I'm playing, okay, if I'm going up against a cornerback and I'm getting behind him every time and I know the ball ain't getting there. I mean, come on, man. Like, bro, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not built like that. The Saints know the type of receivers that they have. And if it was any other receivers besides the one that they have, guys that are like role players, you got a bunch of team full of Danny Greens. You know, like you got one Kobe in a team full of Danny Greens. Okay, you got one Kawhi in a team full of Danny Greens. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you have. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a bunch of role players, right? You got one guy that has an ego that's bigger than most, which is Michael Thomas. But imagine if you had like other guys out here, you know what I'm saying, that like didn't have the team that you had with the mind frame. You'll have some problems. I mean, you stopping guys from getting their Skrilla. You stopping guys from getting their money. If a guy know that he can run these different routes, and he know after 20 yards he getting open, and you can't give him the ball. And some of y'all cool with it too. And some of y'all cool with it, like. Yeah, it's a trick play. It's a trick play. Yeah, y'all keep on believing that. Y'all keep on believing that Taysom Hill is coming in when a pass has to go beyond 30 yards because it's a trick play. Keep on believing that. Keep on believing that Jameis coming into the game is a trick play. Even though it was a trick play, keep on believing that throwing the ball down the field is a trick play because another quarterback is doing it. Keep on believing that, man. I mean, why is it? I mean, what the famous flea flicker was a trick play? Am I wrong? You remember those flea flickers? You know, the Pierre Thomas handoff, toss back to Drew Brees, wide open Robert Meach. Wasn't that a deep pass? So why are other quarterbacks throwing this all of a sudden and Drew Brees don't? Real truth. It's time for Saints fans to realize it's time to go forward in the future because the Saints' future is bright. Ren, absolutely right. And like I said, people hold on to this whole Drew Brees thing, like because Drew Brees, gave us a championship, which I'm internally grateful for. But I'm not still holding on for that. Like Saints fans, we ought, like, for real, we ought to be ashamed. We ought to be ashamed, man. Like, you ought to be ashamed as a Saints fan that for the last 4 years, this team has tried to go to the Super Bowl. We can talk about 2018. We all know what happened. But for 4 years, this team has tried to go to the Super Bowl. They out here getting free agents. They out here making deals in the midnight hour. They bringing guys in the middle of the season. They you know what I'm saying? They trying to create different trades to bring Clowney in that they never been done before, all for the sake of them trying to get over the hump. How embarrassing is it that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in one season tried to do something that the Saints have tried to do before? And some of y'all not even looking at it that way. Like, how is it? Like, how is it that is their front office that much better than the Saints front office? I doubt it. I highly doubt that, man. I highly doubt if the New Orleans Saints front office, that the New Orleans Saints front office is not better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers front office. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers before this season have not made the playoffs since 2007. For 4 years, the New Orleans Saints have been trying to get over the hump. They have been a lights-out regular season team and have looked like the Cleveland Browns when they reached the playoffs. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all it took was one quarterback and a couple more players in order for them to get where they need to be. We ought to feel ashamed. We ought to feel ashamed, man. And some of y'all still up here crying, man, I hope he come back. Not me. I love him, but not me. If I'm Sean Payton, if I'm Mickey Loomis, if Drew called me and say I want to come back, I'm sorry, Drew. We love you. We glad that you come to that decision, but we gonna move forward. What makes Drew Brees any different? What makes Drew Brees any different from any other great quarterback that did not finish their career with their team? Well, I mean, what makes them different? What makes them different? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe Montana, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, finished his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, finished his career with the Denver Broncos. Tom Brady out there in Tampa. Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying? Jets, Vikings. What makes Drew Brees any different? Why? Because he brought us a championship? Tom Brady brought the New England Patriots 6 of them. 6. And we still holding on to, you know what I'm saying, God bless him, but a quarterback that can't get the ball past 20 yards. And some of y'all still probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but I don't care. You have to come to grips with it. I want to win, man. Like, y'all tripping. I want to win. I want a player that is going to come in. I don't care. He's not going to be as accurate as Drew Brees. Drew Brees is the most accurate quarterback of all time. Stop trying to compare quarterbacks to one another. Well, Drew Brees, he would have made that pass. Well, Drew Brees is the most accurate quarterback of all time. Drew Brees he can throw passes that Joe Montana couldn't throw. Steve Young couldn't throw. Dan Marino couldn't throw. John Elway couldn't throw. But we still, man, if the offensive line, like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. And please don't give me that stuff about Tom Brady, because Tom Brady can throw the ball much further than Drew Brees can. At the age of 43 years old, he can throw the ball much further than Drew Brees can. We need to stop being delusional in the Who Dat Nation. The delusional time is over. You ought to feel ashamed. You ought to feel ashamed. You ought to feel ashamed as a Saints fan that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the basement dwellers of the NFC South for the last 15 years, in 1 year, did something that the Saints were trying to do for 4. Sad, bro. Sad. This is sad. This is sad stuff, bro. Sad. Saints fans, knock off the Breeze comeback tour. Drop it now. Please do. Please do. Crab legs will be rolling. Ever seen a crab crawl? Well, look, I tell you like this. I don't care what y'all call Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston at this stage of his career has better arm talent than Drew Brees. He may not have, more in between the ears than Drew Brees, but he definitely more talented at this stage of his career than Drew Brees is. And some of y'all just out here still holding, like I said, some of y'all can't give people no type of leeway, no type of opportunity for them to resurrect their career. How many times are y'all going to sit up here and whine and cry and complain? You know what I'm saying? Like, before y'all even see somebody, in action. Y'all seen this guy playing for a team that has struggled, that struggled to try to find any type of success over the past 15 years. Well, man, look at Tom Brady. That is not the same team. That is not the same team. Anybody that's talking about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, look no further than this. Every player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that scored in the Super Bowl was not on their team last year. Leonard Fournette wasn't there. Gronk wasn't there. Antonio Brown wasn't there. Tom Brady wasn't there. So please, spare me. Spare me this stuff about, well, he had the same team. No. Look at the statistics here. They was last in rushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was last in points allowed. This guy had a whole bunch of things going for him. And how is it that all of a sudden, like, this guy career can't be salvaged? How come his career can't be salvaged? Oh, because he's Jameis Winston. Oh, he turns the ball over. Like, you look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees was not even looked at how he was looked at right as he's looked at right now when he came from San Diego. We didn't know what to think about Drew Brees. But yet, Drew Brees ended up being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And even if Jameis don't become the greatest quarterback of all time, if the Saints could put a team around him and he can generate some level of success, that I can roll with that. I can rock with that. But some of y'all just act like Drew Brees just came off the bus, like just out here just wrecking shop. He was not. Go look at his days when Marty Schottenheimer, God rest his soul, was his coach. And he was yelling and screaming because Drew Brees was making boneheaded plays. He was yelling at Drew Brees on the sidelines. But some of y'all don't remember that because some of y'all probably weren't even paying attention to Drew Brees until he put on a Saints uniform. It's time to be real, folks. Y'all want to sit up here and talk about looking at all these other quarterbacks and you know what I'm saying? And this, look, whoever they get, they're going to have some growing pains. Whoever they get is not going to give you the same type of success. If they do, great. But 9 times out of 10, they won't. And that's something y'all going to have to come to grips with. You're not going to get the same type of success right off the bat with whoever the quarterback is. It took Drew Brees some time for him to be Drew Brees. So what makes any other quarterback different? Some of y'all just don't like Jameis Winston, man. Some of y'all just don't like him, maybe because y'all got this implanted in y'all heads, the turnovers. But it wasn't always like that. He didn't have 30 interceptions every season. Probably had 14 here, 18 there, 13 there. It happens. Any quarterback under the tutelage and the coaching of a Bruce Arians offense, under Bruce Arians, has struggled, has turned the ball over at an alarming rate. Their numbers doubled. So if you're a 10 interception quarterback under Bruce Arians, it's 20. I think Jameis Winston had 15 turnovers in one season. Well, the season before Arians came, now he had 30. I mean, check the stats. Check the stats, man. I like Jameis, and I'm down 100. I was given a second chance one time, and it was all I needed, just saying. Ghostface, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like I said, I don't even pay that much attention because the same type of people was telling me when I was trying to tell them that Trey Hendrickson was going to be lights out as a defender, and I wasn't worried about Jadeveon Clowney, people called me crazy. When I was talking about, when we was talking about Marcus Williams, and I was like, man, I ain't holding 2017 against him, and y'all still up here talking about the Minneapolis Miracle. Come on, man. Like, guys can change the narrative. Statistically, this has been Marcus Williams' best season. Jadeveon Clowney didn't do jack. And Trey Hendrickson was second in the league in sacks. Some of y'all didn't even know that. Some of y'all, man, we need Cloudy, Watts. Cloudy, where you going? Anybody heard from Cloudy? I asked that question here today. Anybody heard from Cloudy? The Saints dodged a bullet. Saints had what they was missing in the locker room the whole time. And y'all still sitting up here going crazy and clamoring for free agents. Trust the system, man. Trust the system. Trust in your team. Just because a guy doesn't have a big name, a household name, don't mean that the guy can't generate success. Somebody please tell me who Demario Davis was before he came to the Saints. You have to be a diehard NFL fan in order for you to even know who Demario Davis was. But you couldn't even think about the defense without that dude being on the team. We so quick to give up on it, man. You think we should get? Nah, bro. We don't need to get him. Nah, not him. Come in. Man, that dude a beast, man. It's cold, bro. It's cold, bro. Like, give people opportunity, man. Like, you can't just write a whole story just based on that. You can't just write a story based on, like, one unsuccessful season. What's wrong with y'all? Shoot, not all y'all. What's wrong with you? You know, like what's your problem? Like why y'all so like do you really just think about some of the things that you say? I mean, I ain't saying I'm always right. I'm not, but geez, some of y'all, I'm like, you know how like people jump out the window, they might, you know what I'm saying, touch the ledge and then hop out. Some of y'all just leave the window wide open. Y'all just run, start, and just leap up out that thing. Give people opportunity, man. Like, don't y'all trust the coaching staff? Don't y'all trust the system? Like, these guys have been drafting these guys to come in and play. For some apparent reason, it's like they don't even do it. It's like they don't even do it for y'all. Trust the system. Look, I trust Coach Sean Payton, for better or for worse. I trust Mickey Loomis. I trust Kai Harley, the accountant. You know what I'm saying? I trust Jeff Ireland. These guys have been doing an outstanding job bringing young guys in, young talented guys in to contribute. Free agents to come in that may not be household names, may not be big time stars, but when they do come in, they make some noise. They do some things. They make it happen. I mean, just think about what they brought in. Demario Davis, right? Demario Davis played pretty solid. You can talk about Eli Apple all you want to, but before that Chicago Bears game when he fell down last season, he was playing pretty doggone good. You have to remember that Lattimore was out with a hamstring the last couple games, and he was guarding the number one receiver for at least a few of those games, and he was doing a really good job. Quan Alexander coming in the middle of the season. Janoris Jenkins. So why is it that we can't trust the coaching staff to make decisions that are going to be helpful and beneficial to this team for better or for worse? Who you think the Saints are going to draft on April 30th? And I really don't know exactly who they're going to draft. I have an idea that they're probably going to end up drafting a linebacker. I just think that's just the way that the wave of the NFL is going right now, man. You need that athletic linebacker. And I made a video a couple weeks ago, and I talked about how I feel like the New Orleans Saints need to get a linebacker, a stud linebacker, because they're the only team in the division that hasn't had a stud linebacker that they drafted. Most of the guys that the Saints get that end up being good are always guys that probably come in as free agents. Well, not probably, they definitely do. So, how much you been smoking, bruh? I don't know exactly if that was for me or whoever. I don't know if that was for me or whoever, but I'm definitely ain't smoking nothing. Anybody that's still up here talking about the Saints winning the Super Bowl, you know, with Drew Brees at this stage of his career, they gotta be smoking. I trust the coaches with all other positions except for Brees. They let their personal feelings dictate the quarterback position. Winston should have been the quarterback to come in for Brees. Look, I agree with you on that. I do feel like there's this loyalty to Drew Brees because I just feel like Sean Payton is a loyal guy. He's a man of his word. And also you have to look at the fact that Sean Payton is a coach and you have to understand and you got to be able to make decisions that won't divide your locker room. You know, like you got to be careful with that type of stuff. You start bitching folks and you start having short leashes and stuff like that. Guys start looking, guys start whispering, guys start hovering in the corner, you know what I'm saying, start talking. And if you're doing stuff like that, then, you know, then you'd have lost the locker room. But I just think that Sean Payton is a loyal guy. Yeah, he's loyal. He's not trying to give up on folks like that. And I just think that he just didn't want to do that. Sub TJ, Who That Nation. Bottom line, this past year, Brees had everything he needed to get it done, but didn't deliver. I want to see Jameis in the offense. I love to see Jameis or another quality quarterback in the offense. TJ, in your opinion, do you believe that the 2021 Saints draft has to be equivalent to the historic Saints draft for 2017? Brandon, thank you very much. It's not going to be equivalent. Okay, it's not. If they do that, then everybody on the Saints team need to stop what they're doing, go to the local corner store and buy a lottery ticket, because they are some of the luckiest son of a guns you ever going to see, right? But if they can get close to it, if they can, if they can make splashes on the majority of their draft picks, not all of them, but the majority of them, then they should be fine. But no, I don't think that they need to replicate that, because I don't think you can replicate that. If they do, like I said, they need to stop what they're doing and go to the corner store and buy a lottery ticket. I can see Winston going 35 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 4,500 yards. Maybe better having the Saints offense and Peyton. I don't know what his stats will look like, quite frankly. I'm not even so much caught up on the stats. I just know that you need your defense that you're going up against guessing. Like, I don't need to be hearing stuff like players talking about, I hope Drew play. Like, huh? You know what I'm saying? When have you ever heard anybody say something like that about an elite quarterback? You got defenders on opposite teams, like when they wasn't sure that, I think it was Kansas City. Kansas City was like, we were hoping that Drew played instead of Taysom. And I think the guy was like, well, what's the difference, between them? He was like, I just keep that to myself, but we just glad that Drew played. Huh? This is an all-time great quarterback here. And you're telling me that a team is happy that the elite all-time leading passing quarterback playing? I mean, but you know what I'm saying? And not a guy who runs the ball, mostly drop his shoulder like a fullback. I don't get it. But we're going to take a break, and I'll get back after this commercial from Manscaped.
This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code State of Saints. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com.
And we're back, Who That Nation. And if you didn't know, your boy has officially signed. Manscaped is now an official sponsor going forward for the foreseeable future here on the State of the Saints podcast, man. So if you want to support the State of the Saints podcast, order some products from Manscaped. I would really appreciate that. And thank you all so much, man. Looking forward to doing business with Manscaped. And also, man, check out some of the merchandise that's available right now. I'll make sure I put that link in the description. You can purchase some State of the Saints podcast gear. TJ, do you believe that Ryan Pace ruined the Saints' opportunity of winning a Super Bowl, especially with that terrible 2015 draft? No. I feel like Roger Goodell ruined the Saints' opportunities with the whole Bounty Gate fiasco, from them suspending Sean Payton, from them taking draft picks away. All that stuff right there, like, kind of caused the New Orleans Saints to be, kind of taking steps back. I really do. I feel like the New Orleans Saints at that particular time was going through an identity crisis. I just think that was just the worst locker room the Saints ever had. When you got guys that like Brandon Brown in there and Junior Galette, crazy self, and man, you got all these guys up in here that was more like me guys instead of we guys. That's when, I just felt like the Saints they did a really good job, because after that year, they let a lot of guys go. They got rid of guys that were like problems, and they got a better locker room. And that's when we started to see the Saints become successful. So I feel like Roger Goodell and the NFL were the main reason and the culprit behind the New Orleans Saints having some of those bad seasons. Because you look at Ryan Pace, he got a job out there in Chicago. So in the process, he got some work. So somebody thought that he was worth the investment, even though he's been on the chopping block as of late. And his job was saved this season. Matt Nagy, along with Ryan Pace, are coming back to Chicago, but this is do or die for Ryan Pace. Getting a shout out to Cross. Believe it or not, I don't want to move on from Brees either. He's an era we'll never get back. But I know we have to move on, or we'll never see another Super Bowl. Brees will cripple the Saints financially and waste the talent we have the older he gets. It sucks, but it's true. Casey, thank you so much. It's facts. It's facts, folks. It is facts. Facts, right? We love Drew Brees, but look, you got to come to grips. Sometimes the thing that makes you laugh makes you cry. And I'm tired of shedding tears. I'm tired of shedding tears, about this team. Like I am, because it don't make sense. Like if I put it like this, if you were a Chicago Bears fan, right? Your team goes to the playoff as a 7 seed. If they get out the first round, you happy. If they lose in the divisional round, you like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, they were a 7 seed. But what happens like when you one of the best teams in the league, you don't won more games in the last 4 years than any other team, haven't sniffed the Super Bowl, you don't won 4 division titles, you got all this stuff going for you, and you have nothing to show for it. Like, I really wish I had some answers. I really do. I really wish I had some answers. I wish I can tell you, but I can't. Like, I cannot tell you why this team has underachieved. And the only thing that comes to my mind is very, very simple. Their inability to cause the kill shot. Like, teams do not respect this offense when Drew Brees is the quarterback. I don't know any other way I can put it. Teams do not feel the Saints offense. Got to get Russell if Drew leaves. Well, that's if Russell wants to leave, Jamarcus. And I really don't think that he wants to leave. I just think that they just doing that for leverage. Would you trade 3 firsts and let me see, and Teron Armstead for Russell Wilson? Nope. Nah, that's too much. Nah, I wouldn't do all that. 3 first-round picks? No. Nope. And definitely not Teron Armstead. What was his biggest gripe? His biggest gripe is the lack of O-line protection. So why would you trade arguably the best player on your team? You know what I'm saying? At the position that he would come to New Orleans Saints for. He would come to the New Orleans Saints because the guys like Teron Armstead. So why would you trade him in the process? And as far as I'm never, ever going to support giving a first-round draft pick, ever, unless we talking about like a generational. Like, I know I'm gonna get about 3-4 Super Bowls out the deal, and I can't even say that. I can't, because I'm gonna be real with you. Seeing Russell Wilson in the last playoff game didn't really look good. Look rather Drew Brees-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really good. He was throwing interceptions too now. That's just another story for another day, but Hey, man, I mean, I understand he was getting sacked, and I mean, Aaron Donald caused a lot of teams problems, but when they did have a clean pocket, man, he wasn't delivering that ball where it needed to be. So, I mean, as much as I love Russ, and y'all know I always saying Russ I trust, but look, to give up 3 first-round picks, nah, nah, not. I'll come to New Orleans as long as TJ allows me unlimited fart jokes on this podcast. And Russell Wilson, thank you very much for your comment. You says if the defense don't respect your ability to stretch the field in big games, the defensive coordinator has already won. That's true. Yo, TJ, just for fun, if you were to pick a quarterback in a draft, what what's the order you would put these quarterbacks? Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Kyle Trask. Course number 1 would be Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 would be Justin Fields. Number 3 would be Zach Wilson. Number 4 would be Trey Lance. Number 5 would be Mac Jones, and number 6 would be Kyle Trask. That's the order I put them. Let's see. Trey Lance or Mac Jones? I'll pick Mac Jones. Brees isn't the only player that shouldn't return, starting with PJ Williams. I gotta admit, man, PJ Williams was very tolerable this season. Do I feel like they need to move on from him? Yes. All these 1-year contracts, you know, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. PJ Williams, he didn't play as bad, man. I guess because he was playing safety. I think that's his position. I think that's something that he needs to explore, whether he's on a Saints team or another team next season. I think that would add about 5 more years onto his career. I'm tired of cakewalking through the regular season, putting up points and going 13-3 just to get bounced in the first round. I think we all are tired of that. Let's see. Official Nola said, just getting in. Bro, you think Brees coming back, though? No. Cornelius Green says, I've been critical of Drew for years. Although I'm not in the business of pocket watching, he has to ask himself the question as to how important it is to him to get to the Super Bowl. Granted, Loomis makes some horrible decisions in the past. Brandon Browner, Jason Davis, C.J. Spiller, you name it. But the Saints have numerous salary cap casualties due to Brees being the highest paid. Not once, but 3 times. Some took pay cuts to keep him. Others went on to other teams. In the end, it resulted in the Saints. Let me see. Resulted in the Saints. I guess he got some more to say. But Cornelius, that's a good point. Drew Brees, you can make an argument to say that Drew Brees waited till like the last couple of years of his career in order for him to like make sacrifices, right? I mean, Drew Brees could have had a couple more Super Bowls if, he probably would have took some, a pay cut, but he didn't, I mean, and now, towards the end of his career, he finally takes a pay cut. I find that very ironic, that's something that he rarely ever did, and then finally, like, his last, I guess, the last thing he does for the team is to take a pay cut. I find that very funny. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, I just think it's time to move on. I don't blame Drew Brees, though. I don't blame Drew Brees because it's not Drew Brees' fault. Hindsight is 20/20. And I feel like it's not Drew Brees' job to take pay cuts. It's not. It is Mickey Loomis and the front office job it's their job to try to put a team around him to succeed. And you can arguably say if they would have found this type of talent in Drew Brees' prime, you probably would have won some Super Bowls. You probably would have won because the money wouldn't have mattered. I feel like the longer it takes for Brees to make a decision, the more opportunities as other quarterbacks and other positions pick up. We will miss out on because of the uncertainty on what we can afford. Casey, I disagree with that. I disagree with that because once again, I say this to all of the Saints fans out there. Look, I got a lot of respect for all these insiders. I really do. I got a lot of respect for these insiders, but even these insiders don't know everything. They don't. They don't know everything. They don't know everything that's going on. They know what some of these people within the organization are nice enough to give them. Some of these people that are insiders, I mean, to me, I don't understand. Like, look, I feel like this. Look, I ain't trying to throw shade at nobody, but if you're gonna be an insider, man, that's a job, right? Because you got to build up enough credibility for you to be wrong. I would say that again. You got to build up enough credibility for you to be wrong, right? So you got to hit way more than you miss. So a lot of these guys that sitting up here, talking about, man, such and such, this happened, this, that, and the third, and it don't happen. But you don't have enough skins on the wall. Like, it's not a good look. But back to what I was saying, like, just because these guys, get fed information every now and then don't mean that they know everything. Who's to say that the Saints organization don't already know? Who's to say that? Who's to say that they don't already know? Like, Drew could possibly have this conversation with them already. They probably already are preparing for life, without Drew Brees. Maybe they just didn't come out with an official announcement yet. And we just got to stop buying into this whole media hype. The media is trying to smoke out Drew Brees. They're trying to force his hand. They're trying to make you feel frustrated. But honestly, man, like, why are we sitting up here caring? Who really cares? Like, one thing that kind of broke me from this whole depression thing, you know what I'm saying, when the Saints be losing the playoffs, and when I see players like bounce out and I see them chilling in Miami somewhere cooling, and we somewhere up here stressed out about the team. Like, these dudes out here chilling, living their best life. We up here losing our minds about what they're going to do next, which they probably already know because they didn't already had these conversations. And yet we're just sitting around here just watching, all these different news shows have these debates. Like, they just, like, honestly, the media just mad because they don't know something. And they don't like that. They don't like not knowing. And if you look at some of the language that they're trying to use, they're trying to make him seem as if he's just a selfish human being. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get to that point because, like I said, the media does not like to not know. They do not like to be left out of the loop. If they feel like they're out of the loop, then they're going to make the story work in their favor and make you think, make you look sideways at a player that you've been watching throughout, their entire career. So I don't buy into that stuff. Like I said, man, I can't be no insider. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a guy that sits behind a camera, video, and give y'all my perspective. I can't be the insider stuff. Man, that's just not my thing. That is not me. I can't do that. I'll leave that to the professionals. What do you think about the organization and Drew taking so long to make a decision? Like I said, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. It's like, okay, it's just like for this for all my parents out here, right? Let's just say, for example, you're a parent that works a lot, right? And you not always, having time to do things with your kids because you're working. It happens, right? As a parent, your job is to provide, and sometimes that causes you to miss certain things. Where somebody comes up to you and say, you're a terrible father, you're a terrible mother, I'll never see you with your kids. How would that make you feel? You'll be like, what? I'm always with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm just working, but I got a good relationship with them. I still spend time with them. I still read to them. I still take them to the park. I still, come to the games when I can. Like, All I'm saying is this, man. Like, people can create narratives based on just, things that how they appear, but it may not always be the case. Like I said, the Saints organization could know. We don't know everything. Just because the Saints don't, I mean, just because Drew Brees hasn't come out and said it yet officially doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Right? I mean, like I said, I mean, just because, I mean, there have been tragedies in life, right? I mean, the death of Michael Jackson, the death of Kobe Bryant last year, you know, even though nobody came out there and said it at the time that it happened, didn't mean that it didn't happen. I hate to use that type of example and compare it to somebody retiring, but it's true. You know, I mean, sometimes, why don't they just come out there in real time and just say this stuff? Well, they got to get organized. They got to come up with a statement. You know what I'm saying? They got to reach out to the family. They got to reach out, to the authorities and all that other stuff before they come out and have this big press conference. So I mean, it's not like Drew Brees don't owe us this moment. Miss Man has put so many moments together for us as fans. At least we can do is get his man his respect and let him figure it out and let him come to grips on his own whenever that happens. I ain't got no problem with it. It's not like we playing football, you know what I'm saying, right now. And like I said, as long as the Saints organization are okay with it and they know what's going on, he keeps them in the loop, then they fine. Big facts, TJ. Best life, mansions, luxury cars, and beautiful women and bank accounts. Exactly. And like I said, we up here stressing about that. We up here getting into arguments with each other and tearing each other down. And these dudes on vacation. Imagine, you know what I'm saying, talking about a guy's commitment to his team, this, that, and the third. And they're around this thing out there in Cabo, you know what I'm saying, Cabo somewhere, and you somewhere in your house, mad, watching the game on DVR. Like, well, it's time to decompress. It's time to figure it out, man. Like, on to the next season. Let's talk about this draft. Let's talk about, what's going to happen in the 2021 season. Waiting on, like, getting mad and talking about Tampa Bay and then winning the Super Bowl and us not. Like, it's okay to be upset, but don't let it shouldn't be consuming you at this point. And like I said, if you want to rid yourself from feeling like that, I encourage every Saints fan to follow some of your favorite Saints players. And you tell me if we're not taking this way too serious. Some of us. All I know is we are 8-1 without Brees. I'm ready for a change at quarterback. Peyton could possibly open a playbook. Yeah, that's something that's missing, Dre. They definitely need to open up that playbook. TJ, would you be mad if the Saints don't re-sign Lattimore? I wouldn't be mad. I would just wonder why they wouldn't do it. Like that's like, it's hard to find a productive corner, and we can talk about how up and down he is. I mean, fair enough. But we know that the New Orleans Saints have had some hot garbage at the cornerback position over the past decade. And when you have somebody that is stable, stable enough, and the biggest issue that they have is for them to get lost in the lights between games, you can work with that versus a guy that can't cover with a bed sheet. So I wouldn't be mad. I would wonder, like, what would be the next alternative? Like, how, what I'm saying, like, the next person, can you get that type of production? Look, I'm always interested. Like to me, you got to look at it. I look at it this way. If you're running a team and you don't re-sign a guy, you got to be asking yourself, well, where are we going to get the production from? Right? So if you're looking at somebody like Trey Hendrickson, right? You're looking at Trey Hendrickson, 13 and a half sacks. You've seen Cam Jordan do this before. You want to look at this season as an anomaly. You see guys like Carl Granderson coming on, and you still have a belief in Davenport. So if you were to let him walk in free agency, which I'm like most likely, I feel like they will, then you still got guys that can step up. when you look at the cornerback position, like a couple of years ago, folks, like we can like go back. Wasn't that long ago, man. Go back and look at some of the topics that we had here on the State of the Saints podcast. We're 3 years in. I know some of you probably new to the podcast, but we've been doing this for 3 years. And the biggest topic, ain't that crazy though? That goes to show you how the narrative changed from year to year. Like one of the biggest topics around year 2 was what are we gonna do in the secondary? What are we gonna do in the secondary? What are we gonna do in the secondary? Now we feel like we got room to throw guys away. Like, huh? Like how long have we been trying to get production at the cornerback and safety positions? And finally we got that. Now all of a sudden, get rid of him. For what? Like, can I interest y'all in a Jarius Bird? Huh? Like can I interest y'all, in a Brandon Brown? Like, come on, man. Like, man, we done had some horrible cornerbacks on this team. And I understand, like, we live in a world of now and, back what happened yesterday and a week after that and a week after that, you know what I'm saying? Week before that, I should say. Like, I understand, we don't work like that, but that was the topic of conversation for a long time here on the State of the Saints podcast. We that Who That Nation says, I think Russell Wilson can blow the top off the defense with Callaway, Harris, and Smith. We that Who That Nation, thank you very much for the $10. Yeah, I think they can. I think that we need to come up with some better plays, man. I think a lot of guys are being handicapped. I think they're being handicapped by Drew Brees, deficiencies right now. TJ, do you think Mac Jones would be a good fit? I think Mac Jones would be a good fit because we see him being the closest thing to Drew Brees. I think any quarterback would be a good fit because I think Sean Payton is a good play caller. And I would not be surprised if Sean Payton ends up drafting a quarterback. If he does, that's the complete polar opposite of Drew Brees. Like, I think that he likes a challenge. I think that he will want to get a guy that's not like Drew Brees because here's the thing. When you have a tendency of drafting a guy like the guy that came before him, you have a problem. You have a problem because everybody is going to be looking at him in the same light versus a guy, if he was a dual threat, he can extend plays with his legs and also has a pretty decent arm or above average arm. You're not going to compare him to Drew Brees, because he's not going to have the same skill set. So it would not surprise me if he ends up getting another quarterback that is the complete opposite. If he does decide to go that way. True, but that game when it mattered most, he didn't get it done. I don't know exactly what game we're talking about here. Facts, the players are already moving on to the next season, focus on better things, while the fans are already having meltdowns. Right. Some of y'all be careful moving on from Lattimore. I don't look. All I know is that was the topic of conversation. I say 2 out of the 3 years that we had the State of the Saints podcast. It has been the topic of conversation. All of a sudden, my goodness, man, how the narrative changed. We have stability in the secondary, and all of a sudden we just want to get rid of it. For what? So we can keep on talking. So we can go back to talking about, man, we need some corners. Like, come on. MVP ball and elbow drop and sign Winston. Yeah. What defensive free agent would you like to see the Saints pick up? None of them. I think the Saints' focus needs to be the draft. I think they need to get themselves a young player that can help them. I don't think that the world is going to change unless you're about to go out here and get a guy, like an Aaron Donald or something like that, that's just going to change your fortunes. I just think that you need to build. You got the right coaching staff to build. You need to build. You got a good combination of young players and seasoned veterans and guys that, that know how to win. So I'm kind of over the free agency stuff. If you're gonna get a free agent, like I don't want them to be like a real huge name. I would just prefer a guy that gives you some level of production, more than what Azalone would give you. I can tell you that. Brandon Browner, then Toast. Yeah, Brandon Browner was trash. Brandon Browner already checked out. He won 2 Super Bowls already. He won one with the Seahawks and another one with the Patriots. So he was just, trying to get a quick money grab. His heart wasn't in it. He was just here just for the money, and it showed. His game showed. I'm kind of ready to move on, but I'm kind of down for Brees to return. I'm torn. Jack, I understand what you're torn for, man. I don't. I don't understand how anybody can be torn if they're looking at this guy's quarterback playing the postseason. I'm not. I just, if we're torn for the wrong reasons. We're torn because we love Drew Brees so much, and we just can't picture life without him. I can't picture life without my wife. I can't picture life without my son. All right, look, and as a Saints fan, I can't really picture life without Drew Brees myself. But at the end of the day, it is time to move on. If not now, when? When are we gonna do this? I do not want to suck all of the talent, every bit of, man. Look, we done got as much of the ketchup we possibly can out of that jar. You know what I'm saying? Like we have, man, out of that jar we have gotten as like if this was a ketchup jar. If you ever been to the barbecue, man, and for some apparent reason, why like at most barbecue, like we always just get like they always have like that half empty bottle of ketchup. But anyway, man, if Drew Brees was the ketchup, right? Drew Brees would be Drew Brees would be that little residue on the side of the ketchup. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You probably could, bang it on the table or whatever like that. The ketchup would come out. Yeah. But really, man, do you really want to be that lazy? Or do you want to go to the refrigerator where you probably bought, a brand new bottle of ketchup just to come out there and spray it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Ketchup will come out, but, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Time to get some new ketchup, man. Time. Michael Thomas going to have a breakout year. Yeah, man. I mean, he was hurt. He was hurt, man. Nah, just wait. You sissy, Matt Ryan going to look like Tom Brady to y'all next year. Okay. Falcons got a question mark at quarterback too. The Atlanta Falcons, we got more hot girls in Atlanta, though. Come on, Russell. Lattimore is the key piece going forward, in my opinion. It would be a mistake getting rid of him. I agree. Yeah, it would be a mistake. I would have to wonder what would be the next alternative. He's perfect in his role. Aaron says I'll be changing fortunes. That's Aaron Donald, by the way. Hattie says, let's go. Damian says, get rid of Lattimore. In the words of TJ, what y'all smoking? What y'all been drinking? Cam Jordan is Matt Ryan's dad. I have to agree with that. I want us to keep Lattimore, but it'd be smart if they draft a cornerback in the first round. J.C. Horn would be a good fit. But who's to say that J.C. Horn would be a productive corner? Like, who would say that? Like, I don't know, man. Like, there are certain positions where you need a combination of solid veteran leadership alongside young talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like you need that. You can't just I just feel like offensive line, you can have multiple positions, right? You can have multiple rookies on the offensive line. You can have multiple rookies on the defensive line. But I just feel like in corner, like you can. I don't think you should start off with just rookies. Just parade them out there. I just feel like you keep Lattimore. Like, I don't know, man. Man, when a guy starts to get productive, you know what I'm saying? We can't just ride here just say, man, get rid of him, because he made his money. Like, come on, man. TJ, I need you to call Sean Payton in the front office and tell him to draft at least 2 new cornerbacks We Saints fans are tired of seeing PJ, Patrick, and Ken. Cornerbacks weren't bad last season. They weren't too bad. They started off rough, but towards the end of the season, played pretty solid. I wasn't just here for the money. I was also here for them sexy Creole ladies. So quit spreading lies, TJ. I'll just leave that alone, man. You know, I think we all know what Brandon Browner is at this particular moment. So we'll just leave it at that. Thanks for the memories, Drew, but it's dangerous Wilson time. I don't know if it's dangerous Wilson time, but it's time to move on. You're right. The logical side is moving forward without Brees, man. Brees, it's over. It's over, bro. It's over with. You can he pushing sleds and all that kind of stuff. That's cool, you know. But brother Jerry, you tripping? Yeah, man, Falcon fans that came up into here talking about Matt Ryan. Man, Matt Ryan, man, bro, y'all. I don't know. They got a little bit of that issue going on right now. Oh, Chosen, thank you very much for 199. Says new ketchup. Yeah, man, time for some new ketchup, bro. Y'all ever did that though, man? Man, maybe I'm wrong. Like, have you ever just been to a barbecue? They always have like that half a bottle of ketchup. Like it's always there, man. Like it always seems like you have to be slamming ketchup on the table to get something out to put on your hot dog. Like, yeah, I never really see a fresh bottle of ketchup at a barbecue. Like I don't. I just don't. I don't care what's going on. I don't care where we at. It could be like a family function. You still gonna have like a half. You still gonna have a half bottle of ketchup. Don't know why. Don't know why. I would love to hear the conversation between Falcons and Saint fans if we get Russell. I don't know, man. I was supposed to be on a Forever I Love Atlanta podcast, but I ended up being a little bit under the weather. You know what I'm saying? When I had that opportunity, that was during the time I took the COVID shot. So I took the second vaccine, and my body didn't really respond to it well. You know, I mean, I had like little fever and some chills. But man, shouts out to Pretty Carly, who's a part of the Who That Nation chat line. She was a guest on there. She did a really good job, man. So shouts out to her. I don't know about anybody else, but that pass that Jameis threw to Traquan was exciting to me. I think it was, man. I look, and I think it's sad also. That shows how, man, I don't want to use the word pathetic, but I have to. That just shows you how pathetic the offense was looking. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact, and also like how sad we've gotten as a fan base too, man. The fact that a pass throw past 20 yards, we getting excited for. You know, like guys on, other quarterbacks do that all the time, but the fact that we seen a pass go past, like we it's like a home, it's like, the one dude that show up to the hood in the fresh pair of Jordans, be the first ones to get them. And everybody like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was when Davis came in. That's sad though, man. You think about it, bro. We ain't used to seeing the ball going past 20 yards or 15 yards. All of a sudden, like, it's like he created fire and we cavemen. That's sad, bro. That's sad, man. Like, woo. This man threw the ball 20. This man threw the ball past 20 yards, and we act like we just the same. I don't know, like we just found 6G or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all got 5G, but we got 6G. Like nah, bro. That's pretty sad, man. The new bottle goes in the cabinet. Finish off the old one at the cookout. Yeah. Lattimore is not enough. We need multiple good cornerbacks. We need multiple good cornerbacks, but why get rid of the best one you got? This it's like I don't know, man. Like you can't like sacrifice like, okay, man, I'm gonna get. Well, this is not Moneyball, man. You know how like on Moneyball, Jonah Hill was the analytics guy, and they were like getting rid of like star players, and they were like getting maybe 2 or 3 guys that can compensate for that one star player. Like, nah, it don't work like that. Maybe in baseball you can do something like that, but in football, this is about results, man. This is about results. That man has earned his money, whether you like him or not, whether you respect him or not, whether you want to go through his plays with a fine-tooth comb. This guy has earned his money. And I don't like that. I don't like that we want to get rid of guys after we done use these guys up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to roll like that. Especially when a guy has earned his money, pay the man. When he has earned his money, pay him. That don't work nowhere. Like, how dare we as fans do something like that? Like, in no line of work do, you know what I'm saying, a person performs to the best of their ability or performs above the call of duty and they don't get some type of raise, right? Unless your job is just straight trash, and I advise you to get up out of that thing. But if you work hard, if you're going beyond a call of duty, if you're exceeding the expectations of what your job entails, you want to get paid more. So I'm not going to criticize this man and like, you know, break everything down and, you know what I'm saying, get under a microscope and, on first down, you know, he blocked the pass, but on second down, Julio caught the ball for 7 yards in the first down. He sucked. Nah, bro. The man, more times than not, has stepped up. And one thing you can say about Lattimore in the playoffs, that guy rises to the occasion. If we're having this conversation, and I think we all can go here. We all can go here, folks. If we're talking about playoff production, you know, this guy is the main reason why. Like, without Marshawn Lattimore, how we forget in a Philadelphia Eagles game, Nick Foles had the Philadelphia Eagles rolling for a go-ahead score. Who caught the interception to seal the game? It was Marshawn Lattimore. Without Marshawn Lattimore, the Saints wouldn't even got to the NFC Championship game. There was a chance they would have lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. But, of course, we don't remember those things because it's not beneficial, and the outcome wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? The outcome wasn't in our favor. So how is it that we can just switch it up like that? How come we can just switch the styles up like that? Like I said, when it, like we tend to forget all these different things, right? We forget about the important things at the time. You know what I'm saying? At the time, they were the most important things. We have forgotten. Without that dude, the Saints would not have gotten to the NFC Championship game. He had 2 interceptions in that game. 2. And you got to keep in mind, too, at this particular time, the Philadelphia Eagles was up 14-0. Nick Foles threw the pass, and it got intercepted by Lattimore. Who's to say if Lattimore wouldn't have caught that interception if Philly would have went down there, maybe would have got 17 points or something like that, or even 21 points? How we forget, man. If we want to talk about production and all that kind of stuff and make it seem like these guys are just so expendable, we forget about the moments that made us cheer, because we, like I said, man, we live in this microwavable world. Like, we watch a game and it's the most important game at that particular time. If you know what I'm saying, a couple games go by, we forget about how important that person was on that particular day, evening or night. I'm not throwing people away like that. Exactly. I don't know why they want to trade him. Dude owns the receivers in the division. And that's another thing, too. You want to win your division. And we won 8 games without Brees. We are good. Look no further than owning Mike Evans as a top reason to keep him. I must have missed something. What was actually said that got everybody gassed up about Russell Wilson and got everybody thinking this actually has a chance of even happening? I don't know. I just think that whoever Russell Wilson's agent is a genius. Anything is possible. That is true. And he made 3 Pro Bowls speak for itself. I'm not really into the whole Pro Bowl bid because we use the Pro Bowl when it works in our favor, and we try to dismiss the Pro Bowl when it don't. Like we'll say, oh, Lattimore made the Pro Bowl 3 times, but then we'll say, man, the Pro Bowl is a joke. Demario Davis didn't make it. Ramczyk ain't made the Pro Bowl, so I'm not putting no stock in that. All I know is when it matters most, when he going up against elite competition that's not named Adam Thielen, Marshall Lattimore rises to the occasion because Adam Thielen gives him problems. But I just think that it's just the way that Adam Thielen is, But like I said, I'm not going to throw guys away. I blame the contract of Brandon Browner, Jerusalem Bird, Copy Freeze, Junior Gillette, Jimmy Graham, and Andrew Pete. That's why we can't financially compete in free agency. I don't know, man. I just think the Saints really just went for broke. Kobe Fleener, yeah, that was a disaster. Especially Brandon Penalty Browner, OG Wuai. Let's see, Pete still soft as cottonelle tissue. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he is very soft. I like to joke, but I try to not troll much on good channels like this. I support good content, Jack. I appreciate that. And shouts out to everybody out there, man. I'm not I don't know, man. I wouldn't even know if a person trolling or not. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know what's the true definition of a troll. I don't know if I always just thought a troll was a person that just says outlandish stuff, that just don't have like no concrete substance. I don't consider a fan of another team coming on a group as being a troll. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just think that they just trying to meddle. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see a rival team podcast pop up and you like, oh man, I'm about to go up there and mess with them. I don't really consider that as being a troll. I just look at it like you just a fire starter. A troll is somebody that just be like, I don't know, Jimmy Garoppolo. The Saints need to give up 3 first-round picks for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what I feel like is a troll. I'm saying outlandish stuff like that. But I just think that people that the fans of other teams that come here, I just think they like good content. I ain't trying to brag or boast, but well, hell yeah, I am. I think I give some good content here, and we all, work together collectively with your questions and comments. We make a show that everybody, can enjoy. Show, like you don't even have to know. I was talking to my mom the other day. Shouts out to her. Like she motivated me a lot, when I was kind of feeling down. But she said, collectively, all this content, all these questions and comments, it makes for good content. It makes this show exciting. It's not, you ain't really gonna find too many shows that win an hour and 28 minutes. One person, behind a camera and behind a mic, and get people, get people attention for this long. That's pretty, pretty cool when you think about it. So Peace contract is a disaster for his powder puff. You know what, Jonathan? I'm look, okay. If we want to talk about this is what I think the Saints need to do. And I wouldn't even be mad if the Saints draft a guard in the first round. I wouldn't even be mad. If the Saints draft an offensive lineman in the first round, I wouldn't even be mad because you can use I don't think people understand. Like you can use Andrews Pete as trade bait. Like we sit up here and talk about Andrews Pete. We sit up here and talk about him and say that he's not good and he's soft as cottonelle tissue, but. Well, like somebody said, you know what I'm saying? Like some people still look at the Pro Bowl as a measuring stick. He makes the Pro Bowl every year. And he also can play guard and tackle. So if a team wants to shift him to being a tackle, the Saints can use that in their favor. They can draft a guard. They can trade Andrews Pete. Because, like I said, he can play double positions. Teams will be clamoring because they need somebody that can protect their quarterback. I think that you can use him at trade bait. If the Saints draft a guard and they get like a second round pick or something like that for Andrews Pete, so you'll have 2 twos or something like that. I wouldn't be mad at it. It would make sense if you think about it. Every cornerback gets beat from time to time. Every last one of them. You know, I just think that some guys, change the way we think about cornerbacks, because in this generation, we seen people like Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman and Patrick Peterson, and those guys are the measuring sticks. And, media guys will put their stats up against Randy Moss, against Antonio Brown, against T.O., against, Chad Ochocinco. And like, oh man, that's what I'm talking about. And now all of a sudden, like if you have a cornerback that is not like these guys, all of a sudden you just think that you just have an expendable cornerback, but that's not the case. That is not the case. Everybody can't be those guys. I mean, they're in a league of their own, but you got to think about how many other cornerbacks they got in the league that are solid, that are getting contract, renegotiated, getting their contracts renegotiated. So, Marshawn Lattimore good at locking up star wide receivers and good ones, but like normal ones, gets burnt. Well, like I said, like you said, everybody get burnt. Everybody get burnt. And honestly, I would dare anybody tell me who's been a better cornerback than Marshawn Lattimore in the past decade for the New Orleans Saints. Who's been better than that dude? I think the Saints will get a championship with Alex Smith. Changed my mind. That's not. I mean, look, that's not a bad take. To be honest with you, Alex Smith is not a horrible quarterback. Alex Smith is not horrible. And like I said, I'm always gonna be an Alex Smith fan. He always got room on my team. Alex Smith got room on my team. I don't care. Alex Smith can play for my squad any day. I don't care. As a backup, starter in some cases. Andrews Pete is the coleslaw at the barbecue. Man, you tripping hard, bro. I don't think he tripping. Like, Alex Smith is a good quarterback to have on your team. I think people just kind of poo-poo Alex Smith and just make it seem like this guy's just garbage, but he's not. You got man like Alex Smith. He got drafted first overall by the San Francisco 49ers. He played, I want to say 8 years. 8 years with the 49ers. He had 7 offensive coordinators. 7 offensive coordinators. Can you any quarterback will struggle in those situations? That's like a play, a playbook 1 year, tear it up. Like, it takes years for quarterbacks to develop in the system. Years. That's why the first year coaches are like, they ask their quarterbacks, okay, what players are you comfortable with? And they scheme around the quarterback's like comfort, comfortability, right? The plays that they feel are comfortable. And then, like, if they have a successful season, they're like, okay, now we're gonna add on to it and add on to it. But imagine having 7 different offensive coordinators in 8 seasons. The most consistent offensive coordinator he ever had was Andy Reid when he went to Kansas City. I mean, he would change the offensive coordinators when he was for the football team, when he went to Washington. So I just feel like that guy don't get a fair shake. And we can't forget now. Yeah, Alex Smith did beat the Saints in the divisional round of playoffs, right? And don't be like, man, it was luck. Nah, bro. I know y'all remember that rollout. I know y'all remember that pass to Vernon Davis. So, come on, man. He can't be that sad. Alex Smith-Eagle checked down Charlie. He checked down Charlie because it's always a new offense that he in. Like I said, man, sometimes, man, sometimes the narrative doesn't really tell the whole story. Like it just don't, man. Like it don't tell the whole story. 7 offensive coordinators in 8 seasons. You know, like I'm serious. Like that ain't bad. That ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? That ain't bad, right? 7 offensive coordinators. That ain't bad. John Doe says, thank you very much for the $3, by the way. He says, what do you think would be the ideal draft pick at 28? Look, you got to look at what's available. To me, I think you can get a cornerback at 28. I think that you maybe can get a linebacker at 28, maybe a quarterback at 28. There's a lot of things you can do. SOTS, what reasonable explanation for Jameis if he starting next year, stats, Pro Bowl, etc. The expectations is just having a solid season. You know, like the expectation doesn't change. You know, like it don't change. It's still Super Bowl or bust. You know, you still have some of the core players that got you there. So you still have Super Bowl aspirations. But for Jameis Winston, you know, the thing is, you know, just to put a better body of work on the field than the last time people saw you for an extended amount of time. What about cutting Taysom, signing Cam to a veteran minimum to be a Swiss knife behind Winston? Talking about cutting Taysom contract? Or are you talking about cutting them in general? Because look, I don't know, man. Like, look, I don't think Taysom is gonna take a pay cut, and honestly, he shouldn't. Like, people may not agree with that, but the dude do a lot. You know, like he do a lot, man. He play quarterback, he play tight end, he play running back, he block, he play on special teams. Like, I mean, the more you're out there on the field, the more you're out there, like your body absorbing like a certain level of punishment. So he deserves his money, man. I ain't trying to take that man money away from him. TJ, what will the difference be with secondary coach Rashard and Glenn? Well, I feel like with Rashard is more of an in-your-face motivator, right? He's like a motivator. He's that guy that's going to like make a good cornerback great, a average quarterback good, cornerback or safety good, because he has this ability to motivate guys and have them playing with this level of arrogance, having them playing free, and have them believing in themselves. Aaron Glenn is more of a teacher, right? I mean, they're both teachers, but I feel like Aaron Glenn is more of the teacher, right? Aaron Glenn, if they get beat, and I've heard him say this, he's not the guy that's going to be in your face, letting you know, man, this guy's out here, you know, working you like I feel like Chris Rashard would. But he's one of those guys that can sit there and probably get in your face and be like, okay, why'd you get beat on this play? And the guy probably respond to him, be like, okay, all right, you got it. You know, like, and then maybe like in the classroom, you know, he probably will tell him, man, what you doing, this, that, and the third. I mean, he said this came out of his own mouth. So I feel like Aaron Glenn is more of a teacher. Chris Richard is more of a motivator. Maybe even giving these guys a false sense of reality. You know, maybe having Ken Crawley think he the second coming to Richard Sherman or something like that. You know, like some guys have this ability and this knack for making guys believe in themselves, even when others don't believe in them as much. So I think Chris Richard does that. If we start losing with Jameis, y'all know y'all gonna be saying trade him. Of course. You know, Saint fans sometimes like patience is not our strong suit. I agree. Get rid of Lattimore would be the dumbest move besides letting Brees start at quarterback the Saints could make. Man, Brees got me going. Get back in the gym. Well, look, I mean, Drew Brees has to stay in shape. Be a football player. Yes, please do that. He'll look good in the red zone. I'll give y'all that. I mean, he a good red zone threat. He's a He's a good pass catcher too, man, and he's a good blocker. That dude do a lot, man. We just need a cornerback number 2. Jack Rabbit getting old. I do think that we need to, get another cornerback. But Jack Rabbit played pretty good, man. I mean, he need to catch the ball a little bit better. I mean, he would have led the league in interceptions that you can catch. A lot of Saints fans want our players to be perfect, and TJ been a fan of yours for 3 years. I appreciate that, Harold. Yeah, man. I think they just want perfection, and nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, we want excellence. We demand excellence because we feel like this team is one of the best. But I just think that realistically, things not are always going to be, always going to be, sunshines and rainbows. It's not. There are going to be times where guys are going to get beat. There are going to be times where guys are going to miss tackles. There are going to be times where guys fumble. There are going to be times where guys catch interception. I'm one of those people. I'm just not going to determine a guy isn't very good based on a couple plays. I need a complete body of work. I need consistency at you being bad in order for me to come to that conclusion. That's what I need. I just feel like we're so emotionally invested in Saints games on Sunday. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of us, I mean, all of us has done it, have done this, including me. Has tweeted something or post something on social media, and I'm like, man, why did I say that? Let me delete that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're so emotionally invested in his football team that we're like, it makes us come out of our position. And I just don't want us to do that when the game isn't even on. Like, if we're gonna have this type of take, like, let's go back and take a look at a person like the complete game, you know what I'm saying, and see how they're playing for us to come to some of the conclusions. That's all I'm saying. Give these guys opportunities. I said as a safety at 28 because Marcus Williams might not come back and Malcolm Jenkins getting old. Let me see. Was that Trayvon? Or Trayvon Morgan at 28. I'm about to do some research on that, Tyrese. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit more into that, see what's going on with that. I would say I know what that is, but I don't. So I'll check them out. But I think the Saints can keep Marcus Williams. I think the market for safeties isn't very huge. I think that you can keep. You think Mark Ingram has anything left in the tank? He's a free agent, and we could get him for cheap. Well, look, if you need him, fine. If you can come to some type of mutual agreement, him playing for the veteran minimum, fine. But don't just sign him because you used to be a Saint. Like, finish your career with the Saints. I mean, that's what the 1-day contract is for. So if you can get him, you feel like he still has something left in the tank. Me personally, if it's between Mark Ingram and Latavius Murray, I'm still rocking with Latavius Murray. I'm not gonna cut him, even though I think I might have said, bring back Ingram, over Murray. But thinking about it, nah, I wouldn't trade Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray is really good. I just don't feel like the Saints give him enough opportunities for him to show that. And Latavius Murray has been good in the league for a long time. And if somebody has some faith in Latavius Murray, I think Latavius Murray can be a starter and have way more yards than he has right now. The trainer said Brees not coming back. He was just competitive and exercising. He said that yesterday on WWL radio. Yeah, man. And man, that trainer, I'm like, man, what a butt kisser. Man, like, DB, what are you doing? DB, like, come on, bro. It's like I don't want to say I can't, but yeah, I can't stand people like that. I can't, man. Like, like some people like that be name dropping, or they just like, oh man, I knew this guy so well, know him so well. I don't call him Drew, I call him DB. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Like that was just I don't know, man. DB, what are you doing? And then you're gonna say something like, I never seen this before. I never seen it's and he gonna say it's a new record because it's never been done before. Like, huh? Like what? that's like you racing, right? That's like, okay, let's just say this is the first annual track and field, right? First annual track and field meet at Tag Gormley Stadium or whatever, and all of a sudden, out come Chosen Kingston. Chosen runs, the 200-yard dash or whatever like that. They're like, it's a new record because he ran first. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, huh? That man said it's a record because it never been done before. My goodness. My goodness. Well, anybody that have ever done anything first, right? You are a record breaker, right? God bless me. To the walk, in my house or whatever like that. I was first. I walked through the door. I was the first person to do that. I hold a record, right? I hold a record for walking in the door first of my house, right? So you're a record breaker, okay? If you went to the vending machine and then opened up a bag of potato chips, you are a record breaker because you are the very first person to ever open up them bag of potato chips, man. You are a record breaker. I want all my people out there to know that you are a record breaker because you did it first. When you opened your eyes this morning, maybe you got up before your husband or your wife. Guess what? You broke the record on this day, waking up first. You know what I'm saying? Because you were the first person to do it. Record breaker. Ingram got about the same amount of loose ketchup in a bottle as Brees. I don't want to say that, man. You can't say that because the only thing that happened with Mark is the running back room got a little full in Baltimore, and you can always go with youth. You can always go with youth, because Mark had 14 touchdowns the year before that. So it's not like, he was just trash. He has a few injuries. And like I said, they just wanted to go younger. I broke the record for most turkey necks boiled in my house. There we go. It was a record breaker. What records have you broken? What records have you broken, folks? Let me know. We got a lot of record breakers up in here. I always enjoy coming to your podcast, TJ. You're a real one. King, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As a Bucs fan, we want Brees back. Clowney isn't trying to get better, and he's trying to maybe find other work somewhere else besides Tennessee before April. That's what NFL Network is saying. Brian, look, David Clowney, to me, I think he can look. There's nothing wrong with caring about money. You want to be able to take care of your family, your friends, and everybody else. You want to be able to set yourself up generational wealth, if you will. But I just feel like he cares more about money than he does winning football games, and that's a problem. I can drink the most beer out of anyone in my house. There we go, record breaker. We don't want Clowney. I never wanted him. I never wanted him. Go back and look at the tape. Go look at the tape. I never wanted that guy. I always question him, man, as a player. He has all the talent in the world, but doesn't utilize him. Takes plays off. Always hurt. And like I said, I mean, the biggest question mark to me was, how can you play alongside arguably the greatest defensive end in the last decade and a half and still can't generate double-digit sacks? I broke my record of Taylor Swift. My record breaking first to bench 225. I hold a record for eating Roman noodles in under a minute. Look, man, we all record breakers. That was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Like I said, man, that was just such a booty kissing move. You just kind of kiss butt. Oh, you're just so great. Oh, you're so wonderful. Oh my God. Like, DB. DB, what are you doing, DB? Come on, DB. Go. Who called you? Have you ever heard? I don't think I ever heard anybody in life call Drew Brees DB. I've seen Drew Brees like videos with him being around his family, his friends. Like you just trying to like, come on, man. That's so sleazy. That's like New York attorney sleazy or whatever, you know, like, or you have like that Hollywood agent, you know, that be on the movies, probably got the Hawaiian shirt on, slick, you know, hair slick to the back, you know, and you call them and you like, got any auditions lined up? Hey, JP, talking about Jerry Poole. Hey, JP, I was going to call you, man. Had something lined up. Had you as an extra in the new Avenger movie. You are going to be Wakandan soldier number 3. But hey, I'm sorry I called you. I was like, hey, babes, where are you? JP, where were you? I didn't know where you were. You had an extra role right there. You could have been Wakandan soldier number 3. Come on, JP. Come on. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's let's see, Alvin Kamara's snowboarding in Montana. Yeah, man, that was scary. That was scary to see. That was scary to see. I ain't trying to see Alvin Kamara on no snowboard, even though he's enjoying himself and I'm happy for him. I hope win out through the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl next year. Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore really going to be Hall of Famers if they win a Super Bowl. Well, Cam Jordan definitely will solidify himself. Michael Thomas still needs a few more seasons. And Marshawn Lattimore still needs a few more seasons himself. TJ, we about to keep DB as our quarterback coach to help Winston. Well, I look. I call it back. Yeah, man. As long as he ain't playing, I'm good. The host of the State of the Saints podcast, the team can pick him up for a 6-year contract, $35 million, and a signing bonus of $18 million. Who we talking about here? Brian? Yeah, behind defending champs. You trying to ban me on Q podcast? Q stood up for me. Who tried to ban you? James Jones was the guy saying DB in the sled video. Man, well that's sleazy. That's just sleazy. Like, I don't know, man. World changing black snowboarding now. I know, man. That's a different type of money right there. I ain't got that type of skrilla. I don't know if I wouldn't even try to snowboard if I had a bunch of money. You know, I ain't trying to do that, but I mean, good for him. You know, I just hope that he's okay, man. He being safe out there. That's, you know, you were going pretty fast on that snowboard, man. He was going at least about 35, 40 miles per hour, man, falling down like that. I know a lot of people on the Saints coaching staff. I know he probably got some text messages like, "Oh, what you doing, man?" But he be enjoying his life, man. He really like Alvin don't care. Like Alvin around here not walking around with his tracking device and everything. What happened to Cam this year? I think Cam like had an injury, had surgery, and just kind of wasn't what he was. TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, is the biggest free agent out there. We can sign him to $35 million, $18 million signing bonus for 6 years. Well, I wish when somebody did give me some of that money. I really have the status. I'm gonna be 100% honest with everybody, and I'm not even lying. Even if I was like you know what I'm saying, rich beyond my wildest dreams, I still do this. I just do it on like a whole different level. Like I would still do this show faithfully, like I'm doing right now. That's how much I love doing this. I mean, I'll be doing it from a state of the art studio, and I probably would ain't no probably about it. I definitely would start my own channel, like my own radio station and channel. I would, get like, oh man, because I'm always wondering, like, Like, what makes the things that we're watching, the people that we're watching, any different from what we can do and who we can be? Like, I just never understood that. Like, I don't. Like, I just feel like the only thing is resources. I just think that I don't think there's nothing in this world that anybody that I'm seeing on TV or anybody that broadcast like me. I don't feel like there's nothing they can do that I can't do. I definitely would like start like a radio station that just focus primarily on New Orleans Saints. Like I would have like around the clock coverage of the New Orleans Saints. I would have like a morning show, afternoon show, evening show, a night show, an overnight show, focusing like, what I'm saying, on New Orleans Saints football, NFL football. And I would have like my own like traveling like commentators, like how, Zach Streif and Deuce McAllister used to travel to games. I'll do the same thing. But it'll just be called the SOTS network. That's about it. Which don't be surprised that don't happen real soon. We might have SOTS network. I'm not even lying to y'all folks. That's what I've been focusing on, because that's what that's me. I'm always looking at what's next. And it's fine, but you know what I'm saying, you just want to elevate. So don't be surprised in a couple of years y'all see the SOTS network. May not be able to travel the games and do play-by-play, but we definitely, can be I don't want to say a competitor for WWL, because I don't feel like anybody can compete with WWL. They undefeated, they legendary. But just to have an alternative, man, where you can just like, if for people that's out there in Dallas, right? You know that they got if I'm not mistaken, 103.7 ESPN, and then they have 105.3 The Fan. So you have two stations that focus on the Dallas Cowgirls, and they compete with one another. You know what I'm saying? They take each other like radio DJs, like they sign the different contracts after years, because in radio you sign like contracts, right? Like you sign like deals. Like you may sign a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, whatever, depends on how much the station is willing to invest in you. I would love to have something like that as an alternative. And I would like to get everyday people, not a bunch of people that just so articulate and button all the way up to the top, and you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. I would like real, legitimate, diehard, passionate fans to be a part of that station. I'm telling y'all my dream right now. That is what I want. Like, because I feel like in this world, there are so many people that have so much great talent, and the only thing that stops them from achieving those goals are people investing in them, because maybe they didn't go to school for it. Maybe they didn't spend a whole bunch of time being an intern and did internships and work with the promotion team for radio. But there are people with great gifts and great abilities, man, and they're passionate, and I ain't trying to hear, people talk about, oh man, like it sticks with me, like so every time I get behind this mic, like I have a chip on my shoulder, because there was this one guy that told me I would never, I can't work in radio, and because of my Southern dialect, my New Orleans accent. He told me I couldn't work in radio. He told me to go home, read a newspaper, and work on my diction. I can play the game, folks. I really can. I can really play the game. I took diction classes. I mean, I majored in communications, for God's sakes. But I don't want to play the game, because I don't want to be a parody of myself. Like anybody that's telling you got to act a certain way or do a certain thing just for you to fit in, I don't want to fit in. I want to be different. They got too many people trying to be like everybody else. Too many cyborgs out here. Too many robots. Be yourself. Do your own thing. But that's what I would love to do. People that's passionate about the Saints, people that love the team, that rock with the team. I would love to like have them like be a part of that. Not to say that I want to get professionals, you know what I'm saying? You need professionals there, but I'm always be me, straight up. TJ, I don't know if you heard, but it just came out that the Saints will try to make a pursuit for Russell Wilson. I guess we will find out if it will actually happen. Well, if it does happen, I don't know what you would do with Jameis. And also, I don't know what you would do. You know, I don't know what Jameis would do. Like, if you don't end up getting Russell, you know, it don't work out for you. You seeing it like, hold up, wait a minute now. Hey, TJ, I just got word on social media that the Saints tried to make a pursuit for Russell Wilson trade. It's in a work to see if they can get him. I sent you the post to your DM. Okay, I'll check it out. I was told the same thing while studying journalism broadcasting. We believe in you, TJ. Man, you're a hard worker, man. I appreciate your work this offseason. I appreciate you all checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Been going there for 2 hours, man. I mean, look, having a good time. But I got to go ahead and get up out of here, folks. You know, I appreciate you all for stopping by. But like I said, man, I mean, I'm just telling y'all my dreams right now. Like, I'm always looking at what's next. I just won't be denied. I won't. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you need to either. There's always going to be people that tell you that you can't do something. There's always going to be people trying to dismiss you. Like, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to brag or boast, but I mean, I've reached a level as far as being a podcaster. The people just put hateful things down just because they want to make me feel bad or make me like. I think some people just look at content and they just mad at how that content makes people feel, and they just wonder to themselves like, what makes that person so special? And they try to like, you know, try to draw some type of negative reaction out of you, like make you second guess yourself. And I'll be careful, man. I kind of fall into that trap. But you know, like I said, man, live your life and be undeniable. Whatever you got going on, whatever you're doing right now, you know, I don't ever feel like you stuck. Like always, you know, try to find ways to try to better yourself, to make yourself stronger, better, faster. You know, like I said, man, that's my goal right there. You know, I walked out that radio station that day, I was ticked off. Like, who this dude think he is? Like, you can't deny my passion. You know, like just because you don't like my diction, you know, like, you can't play. I don't want to play the game. Yeah, man, they got me angry right now. But anyway, I'll read a few more, then we get out of here. They want everybody to be the next Stephen A. Yeah, and you got yourself a whole bunch of Stephen A's on ESPN. And like I said, I mean, you got a whole bunch of people yelling and screaming and trying to be animated and grabbing different props and stuff like that and want to eat popcorn while another person talking. And I get it, man. It's entertainment. You got sponsors. You got people that invest in your show. But why you just can't be yourself? Like, why you just can't be yourself? I feel like I'm pretty entertaining. I ain't got to be like anybody else or try to do what anybody else do or try to bite off anybody or try to clickbait nobody. I just feel like, you know, like that, you know, if you don't be careful, man, you're like, this stuff right here have you wondering who the heck you are. You know, I see so many people like try so many different things, and I've done this in the past to try to appease people and make them happy so they can watch me or pay attention to what I'm doing. It wasn't until like I broke myself down and really just started to figure out what's important to me and really just start pushing that, you know, then the podcast started to get successful and everything in my life started to work in its favor. Like, so look, I mean, real gonna trump fake anytime, any day. So I'm rocking with till the end. I'm always happy to see my fellow New Orleans doing big things. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the podcast. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. YouTube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. And also, the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. All right, look, check this out, folks. St. Patrick's Day is coming up real soon, right? St. Patrick's Day is coming up real soon. It's for my fellas out here. And if you want to get lucky, all right, if you want to get lucky, you want to make sure that you're trying out some of the Manscaped products here. Look, women like a well-groomed man. I don't need to tell y'all this, man. It's for all my married men out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get yourself a little bit more loving, you know what I'm saying? When you got a fresh cut, you know what I'm saying? Like when the mustache lined up from all my bed wears out there. I mean, you can get it all lined up, edged up. And also, you know what I'm saying, when you're being intimate with your lady, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you're well scaped, you know? So, you know, if you want to get lucky, you know, you want to look your best, feel your best. You want your woman to, you know, love you a little bit more. Check out manscaped.com. All right. And use the promo code State of Saints. State of Saints, you'll save 20% off. 20% off. They, you know, I got some Manscaped products. The Lawnmower 3.0 is my favorite. You know, it's a blade or a clipper that you can actually use while you're in the shower, man. You ain't got to worry about getting electrocuted in, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be in the shower, you know what I'm saying, shave, and you know what I'm saying, you know, trim everything, and you don't even have to worry about, you know, water or anything like that. It's water resistant. And also some great products that's also available on manscaped.com. So check it out, manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints, and you'll save 20%. Just that simple. 20%. All right. So if you don't want the Lawnmower 3.0, there's several other items you can choose from. You know, just use that promo code, man. I mean, shouts out to everybody that used it. I mean, I've been getting some positive reviews. People been sending me videos. And I'll tell you what, man, for all those out there, I got a contest for you again. If you purchase Manscaped items, if you make a video of you using a Manscaped item, well, not using, I ain't trying to see all that, but give me a review. Give me a review of what you thought about it, you know, and you know, send it to me, and I'll pick a winner. All right, you know, I'll pick a winner, you know, of the video. You'll receive a free State of the Saint podcast merchandise. You know, I just sent out a couple pieces of merchandise, cups and shirts and stuff like that to different people, you know, for using the promo code. So I'll do that. Send me a video, a review, okay? You know, not you using it. That's too pertinent, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, just a video of you critiquing, and I really appreciate that. All right, so y'all take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, night, wherever you're at. And like always, all I got to say is,